This is Geoff Baker from the Seattle Times coming to you once again from outside of Safeco Field, where the Mariners news never seems to stop. The Mariners today announcing a 4-year, $20 million contract extension with center fielder Franklin Gutierrez. Now, we're told that the deal is for in the neighborhood of $20 million, and that Gutierrez, there's also an option for a 5th year in this deal. So basically it buys out the remaining 3 years of arbitration that Gutierrez has with the team, as well as one of its free agent years and possibly 2 of its free agent years. We'll have to wait and see how that unfolds as things go along. But it's certainly a big day for Franklin Gutierrez today here at Safeco Field. I asked Gutierrez at his press conference not too long ago, I asked him how he feels about how this whole thing is shaking out, given where he was a year and a half ago with the Cleveland Indians, where he was a struggling young outfielder about to be replaced in right field, and now today he's a multi-millionaire. Let's hear what he had to say.
To have vision on what you want, and I also see myself at this point, and that was very important for me. And you know, when you get to this point, you get excited, you feel good, because all the work that you put on it is paying off, and that's very important for me, you know, and to have these people here, people who believe in you. So it's great, man. That's really something that I have to appreciate.
Mariners General Manager Jack Zduriencik had a lot of good things to say about Gutierrez today. Let's hear some of them from the press conference.
And, when you reach out to do something of this nature, you do it because you respect the player for his ability, you know what he means to your ball club, but also when you make this type of commitment, you respect the player for what he is as a person. And anyone that's bumped into Franklin this year and spent some time with him really know the quality of individual that you have here. And it's a pleasure for me to stand here representing the Seattle Mariners to say that we've extended a 4-year contract with a possibility of a 5th to bring Franklin on board.
Now, Gutierrez talked a lot today about what it takes for a team with a lot of expectations to be a contender. Don't forget, he played on the 2007 Cleveland Indians as well as the 2008 team that was expected to win the division, but ended up falling well short of that. Gutierrez said it's one thing to do something on paper, to be a good team on paper, but it's another thing to have to carry it over out on the field. It was mentioned as well that Gutierrez's former teammate from those Indians teams, Cliff Lee, starting pitcher Cliff Lee, is of course going to be with the Mariners this year. Let's hear what Gutierrez had to say about Cliff Lee, his former teammate in Cleveland.
He was pitching. It was great. I mean, he's a great pitcher. He's that kind of guy who doesn't he doesn't scare anybody. No, just he likes to pitch. He's a great thrower, strikes, and that's very important. You know, when you have this kind of pitcher, it reminds me a lot to Felix, the way that he pitched, and I think it's going to be a great piece, you know, and we have a great pitching staff, and for anything it's very important to have these kind of players.
Now, of course, it's difficult to talk about all of this today, about a signing of a young Venezuelan center fielder, without thinking of a young Venezuelan pitcher that is also arbitration eligible right now for the Mariners, and who is also seeking a long-term deal from the team. At least the team's seeking a long-term deal from him. That would be Felix Hernandez. Of course, Felix Hernandez and Franklin Gutierrez, both being from Venezuela, have gotten to know each other a little bit this past year. Let's hear what Gutierrez had to say about Felix Hernandez and his quest for another contract.
It's very important for us because you can see the people who cares about you and talk about you about Felix. So I can say that everybody knows he's a great pitcher. It just depends on what he wants, and we hope to have him here for a long time.
It's worth remembering, of course, that Felix Hernandez and Franklin Gutierrez both have the exact same agents. They both have agents from the Alan Nero group, and that could play a role in negotiations down the road. I spoke privately with General Manager Jack Zarensic earlier today during the press conference, right after the press conference took place, and he told me negotiations are ongoing. They've had some talks. Things are still ongoing, but it does take two to tango. We've heard that before. I asked Zarensic whether a deal like this is something he hopes could pave the way to a future contract for Hernandez, and he said, of course. Of course, a good team tries to lock up as many good players as it can long term, and you hope it convinces other good players to stick around on the team. So we'll see how that all unfolds with Felix Hernandez. Right now, today, the Mariners have Franklin Gutierrez in the fold for at least 4 more years. I'm Geoff Baker of the Seattle Times, coming to you from outside of Safeco Field. Stay tuned for more Mariners news by reading the blog.